Hello, everyone. My name is Gregory, and this is The View from Out Here. I'm outraged at a lot of things today, and network and cable news organizations are at the top of my list. I think we call them legacy media now. I want to talk about Ann Coulter. You don't know who Ann Coulter is? Good for you. You're obviously living a reasonably happy and productive life. She was a guest on Real Time with Bill Maher recently, and she said this.
So, I mean, I've read everywhere that actually the net immigration from Mexico in the last 7 years has been zero, but because our economy got worse, theirs got better. Mexican women used to have 7 children, and now they have 2. I think that would make a big difference. So let's say everything you say is true, which it isn't.
Well, let's say it isn't. That's not okay. Your snotty little remark aside, it's irrelevant. The point at issue is, should America's immigration policy be used to benefit the people already here, or should it be benefiting Pakistani pushcart operators, illiterate in their own language, never mind ours, who come here, go on welfare, commit terrorism, engage in crimes?
All right,
why wouldn't you look out across the world like a sports team does and try to get the creme de la creme? Not like this audience. We don't want these people. We want the creme de la creme.
Now, many of you will remember that she was front page news in 2008 when Barack Obama was running for his first term. She called U.S. Senator and presidential candidate John Edwards a faggot and said he used the death of his son for political gain. And then she said she wishes he would be killed in a terrorist assassination plot, all while the cameras are rolling. You can't really blame Ann Coulter for spouting off. That's what she does. She makes no pretense about who she is. She's a one-trick pony, 4th grade schoolyard bully that thinks she knows everything. We all had one in 4th grade. Mine was Theo Ann Boynton. But Coulter seems to like the role so well that she keeps playing it, and it's paying off for her big time. She's a right-wing media darling for it, and she makes a lot of money doing that one trick over and over and over. I'm angry at the news media who propagate this juvenile hate speech all over your airwaves over and over, day after day. I'm putting news in quotes here for good reason. None of the networks meet any reasonable standard for news. They are emotionally manipulative infotainment magazine shows. But the reason they get to be called news is because the FCC, which regulates the industry and issues licenses to broadcast facilities, has long since abandoned its charge to issue licenses to those businesses that agree to act in the public interests. Have you ever heard of the FCC refusing to renew a broadcast license to anyone? Does that mean that they're all acting in the public interest? Of course not. Watch a few hours of children's programming some Saturday morning, and I'm sure it will be clear to you what the media is all about. It's about the money, baby. The FCC was established to regulate all use of the public airwaves to be used in the public interest. For a while, back in the 40s and 50s, they probably did a good job. There were lots of companies with differing editorial policies delivering content of actual importance to the public, like news programs, along with the standard entertainment program required to attract a little attention to what they were doing. Did you know that there was a time when evening news had no commercial breaks? News was an actual public service. Those days are gone now. You can thank Ronald Reagan for that. That's a story for another day, though. Can you honestly imagine someone like Walter Cronkite uttering a sentence like, "When we return, hotel heiress Paris Hilton is sentenced to 45 days in jail for driving on a suspended license"? That's an actual story. I understand that information doesn't have to be serious to be news. Some things of genuine importance in the world are actually funny. George Bush railing against frivolous lawsuits because it's making it hard for gynecologists to practice their love on women all across the country. That's also a true story. It's news, and it is funny. Incidentally, George Jr. is just like Donald Trump. He had no interest in governing. He was an artist that was into being a celebrity. He left all the presidenting stuff to Dick Cheney. Donald Trump has no interest in governing either. He's having all the presidenting stuff left to the Heritage Foundation. That's who will be running the country for the next 4 years. But I'm off track already. I'm talking about Ann Coulter and the media who loves her. Here's a good rule of thumb to use to determine if what you're watching is a news program or a news program. If you can tell me today what I'll see on your news program tomorrow, it's not news. We simply cannot call what passes for news today to be in the public interest. It's money and ratings-driven infotainment as opposed to the information programming of the past. News programming is no longer about informing you about your world. It is about doing and saying whatever it takes to compel you to sit in front of a television set long enough for them to show you the advertisements that make them money. This is why you're seeing so many stories about the dangers that you are facing every day. Fear is very compelling. Media has learned that you will sit through the commercials to find out how to protect yourself from your computer, protect yourself from your food, your babysitter, the germs that collect on your bathroom sink, and what Paris Hilton is up to. I get it. Running an effective newsroom costs money. Most days there just isn't enough news to fill the time allotted, but they have to fill it anyway because they need the money to keep the doors open in order to be ready for the stories that really do matter. The competition is often fierce to be the first to hit the airwaves with useful information about those stories. Being first gives a station credibility, which translates into viewers, which translates into more money per minute of ads. So they will fill that empty time with the likes of Paris Hilton. Which brings us back to Ann Coulter. This is a perfect example of what news has become and why I'm so angry with media today. News is no longer about the public interest. They are manipulating our emotions, playing them like a fiddle for the money, and that is the only reason that there is such a thing as Ann Coulter. If she were not the outrageous intellectual midget that she is, she wouldn't be on your TV screen. She's only there to attract your attention for the advertisers. If it were about public interest, you wouldn't even know who Ann Coulter is. She wouldn't be news. She'd just be a pathetic one-trick pony fourth-grade schoolyard bully in a grown man's body. Media have become nothing more than expensive whores, and we are the tricks. So, ladies and gentlemen, cock your hands behind your head, lay back and enjoy the sensations. You're paying enough for the service. Might as well enjoy it. I want to thank you for hanging with me so far, and if you find anything of value here, please take a second to like and subscribe with the buttons below. Oh, and don't forget about my books, Basic Video Production, Everything You Need to Know to Make Video Like a Professional, Searching for Saint Germain, The True Story of a Gay Catholic Orphan, and my new one, A Beginner's Guide to the, Video Podcast Primer, A Beginner's Guide to the Basics. You'll find links for all three in the description below, and if you have Kindle Plus, you can read them all for free. Meanwhile, my name is Gregory, and this has been The View from Out Here. Much love.